I have been rather perturbed about the Fani Willis, Nathan Wade saga, right? Yes, they came up with this RICO case against the president, and the president henchmen went ahead to investigate to find out that after all, Fani Willis was having a romantic relationship with Nathan Wade. And then they try to make it into something that it wasn't. Somehow there is profit for Nathan Wade by prosecuting the former president, et cetera, et cetera. Now, these are things that happen all the times. Prosecutors hire contractors. They all make the same thing, as was the case here in this county, in the Fulton County. But what's upsetting is it's the what's not said, the connotation that people try to make with Fani Willis, as if they try to demonize her, make her less than, make her seem slutty, etc. And sadly, a lot of that has to do with using the stereotypes of Black women that has always been false. And that's what they did there. They try to build up on these particular stereotypes. Now, the fact of the matter is, I've worked in corporate America for several years, and the issue with Nathan Wade and Fani Willis is a constancy. The issue with boss and subordinate having relationships, it's standard. I worked at NASA, I worked at Ford, I worked at all these places, and I could tell of this happening all of the times. Not that it's right or wrong, but that it just happens. But the media is running with it, and the media helped Trump and his people make it a story that wasn't. In fact, even the judge fell for it. The judge that should know better fell for it. He could have opened the case if he needed to and closed it right away. No evidence. There was nothing in that case that would have proven that Fani Willis, maybe it doesn't look good to some people, but did anything wrong. And I'm not defending this woman because she's a Democrat or she's going after Trump. I'm defending this woman because of a double standard. The person being on trial here is a horrendous person in Donald Trump. And when Fani Willis went out there and said that, remember, she's not on trial. There are people who attempted to overthrow the United States of America that's on trial. There is this guy who tries to throw a morality bomb on Fani Willis when he himself is, what again? The daddy of several baby mamas. He's a thief. He does all the things that they would try to put onto Fani Willis. He is guilty of. And many in his ilk as well on trial. And yet the media makes it seem like the folks that we should be concentrating on is Fani Willis and Nathan Wade. It is great that Katie Phang, just point blank, comes out and says just as much. This judge should have not gotten there at all. Listen to this, and then we'll take it on the other side.
I love Paul Butler, and because I love him, I'm going to disagree with him in the following way, and with respect, because I always disagree with respect. There was zero evidence that Fani Willis did anything wrong. No evidence, right? Judge McAfee said there was no material financial benefit that was realized by Fani Willis. He said that there was no conflict of interest because she never started this investigation and prosecution and indictment to benefit herself. He made it clear that there was nothing wrong that she did. That in and of itself could have ceased the analysis, and that could have been the end of it. It didn't have to go any further. What is the hypocrisy that really bothers me is this purity test that has to be applied to everyone else but the Republicans. It's this purity test that you have to pass if you are not a member of the GOP. And to that point, it's Letitia James and Fani Willis that are always the ones that get more scrutiny because of who they are. But if you're a Republican, it's okay because you can grab them by the you-know-what and get away with it.
Kavanaugh on the Supreme Court, Paul Butler, cried, screamed, had a breakdown in front of the world, and no one questioned whether his comportment in that hearing meant he was unfit to be on the Supreme Court. Clarence Thomas and Sam Alito have taken what really look like bribes from billionaires to take them on fancy schmancy vacations. They sit on cases in which they shouldn't. His wife is an insurrectionist. He didn't feel he had to recuse. No one says these men made mistakes. And so I lovingly disagree with you as well. What mistake did she make? The people meet on the job all the time. They date people on the job all the time. This is not an unusual thing. Is it the best decision? I don't know. It doesn't seem like it worked out very well. This is like he was the right man for her, whatever. But that has nothing to do with the RICO case, sir.
So let's be clear, folks. You can try to put these types of stereotypes onto people. You can do all of this, but the reality remains that it is Donald Trump and his ilk on trial. The reality remains that nothing Fani Willis and Nathan Wade did isn't something that is modus operandi throughout America's offices, whether professional or otherwise. And if you are allowing this, what the media is doing, if you are allowing all of this to occur, let's be clear. You better check yourself and figure out what's the rationale for your thoughts.
We spend a lot of time deconstructing the news, trying to parse it into a form that everybody can understand. We try to find those little nitpicks where it flies above the fray, etc. If you really like these videos that we do, I want to ask a big favor. Please go ahead. Number 1, subscribe to our channel. And number 2, please join if you can. Thank you so kindly for watching. Keep watching. Please remember to share. We must populate the entire internet with our progressive message, a message that we know is what most Americans say that they want. So help us, please join.